Homeschoolers. My name is Samantha. Today we're going to talk about the family subjects that we have done so far in our homeschool this year. Now, family subjects is where it is all about, in my opinion, because that is the true essence of homeschooling. Family subjects is a time where we sit down together as a family, all ages, nobody is excluded unless my now 3-year-old, wants to be excluded. I do not make her sit there with us and do all of these lessons, but that is the time where we sit down and we learn together, and that is the whole point of homeschooling, is to be together, spend those hours, those minutes, that precious time together. It is such a blessing, and it's one thing that I truly love about this life. As we branch off into our different parts of the day where we start our independent lessons with our language arts, our math, and basically that's about it for us. Language arts and math are the only two things that my two children that I now homeschool do separately. And just for context, I have a 3rd grader, a kindergartner, and a 3-year-old that just turned 3 a few days ago. We do usually about 2 of these every day, but we do not do language arts, math, science, history, art, handwriting, Bible. We do not do these every day. We do a couple of these and then we move on about our day, because the beauty of homeschooling is how much time you actually get back. For this homeschooling mama, family subjects are where it is at. And without further ado, let's jump into what we do as a family with our family. The first thing that I want to touch on in this video is Bible. Now, if you did not watch my homeschooling Bible video, I will link it down in the description box below, because I go very in depth on the things that we have done so far this year in our Bible time and the things that I was considering doing in the future. So today I'm just going to touch on what we've done and what we're currently doing in our Bible time. Now, I'm starting with Bible because that is the main thing that we do every day. That is the first subject that we start with as the children are either eating breakfast or they could be doing their handwriting. A lot of times we'll do that. I will start our Bible lesson. So the first thing that we did this year was this. It was our Love Does for Kids. It is a devotion. I think it has like 34 devotions in it. We always had the greatest discussions around the topics in this devotion, in this series. We finished it a few weeks ago, and my kids were honestly very disappointed that it was finished. I wish he would come out with a part 2. I even looked up his social media account, because he's just a fantastic storyteller. It's Bob Goff. He's a very good storyteller, has magnificent stories about what Jesus has done in his life. And the other day my son asked me if we could go back and read it again, because he loved it, and my son is my kindergartner. But we have moved on, and so I would recommend this if you do not have it in your homeschool library. This is excellent, and it doesn't take much time. Now, the next thing that we have been doing in our Bible time is the Bible questions and answers for kids. Now, I picked this up randomly at one of those gas stations in our mini travels, where you will have this little area devoted to spiritual and Christian books, and they normally have Bibles and storybooks and all kinds of things, and I saw this and I grabbed it. And I didn't know anything about it. I was like, I hope it's biblical. I hope that I don't have to stop it midway through because I don't like what it says, or if it's giving me incorrect information. But it has not. It has been so wonderful. And I have even learned a few things from the questions in this book, and we just do a question every day, and it gives scriptures to back it up. And there have been a few questions where I did not know the answer to, and one thing that we've learned in our school and in life is, if you're not sure about something, if someone has told you something, or if you've read something or saw something and it doesn't set right with you in your spirit and you're not sure if that's correct information or if it's biblical, always go back to the Word of God and look it up and see what the Bible says about it. And so we have done this many times with this book, and I have even learned stuff, and it's been wonderful. So I would highly recommend this. This is by Dave Strahler. I hope I'm not butchering that name. I'm horrible with determining what sounds are in names because they're always so different. So get this. If you haven't, it's really good. The next thing that we do in our Bible time, and I'm just going to try to go through this as fast as I can because I don't want to waste your time either. The next thing that we do is Answers in Genesis for kids, or the Answers book for kids in Genesis. It's the book's by Ken Ham. And so I think there's 8 to this series, but we just started this particular book the other day. I think we've already been through 2 or 3 so far in our school this year, but we just started this one. And I let my daughter go pick out the one that we were going to start because I honestly think this is either the last book or the next to last one. We did not go in order. We picked this one out, and she picked this particular question, and this is just kind of like a homeschool funny that happened in our homeschool this past week. And the question was, why do teachers and textbooks keep saying millions of years ago? And so we've already talked about this many, many times in our homeschool about how public schools and museums and all of these different science places you can go, how they're funded by the government, and how the government does not want you speaking about Jesus and God and about the Bible. Their religion, if you will, is a secular humanism religion where they want you to believe in evolution, the Big Bang Theory, and all of these things that we do not believe. I have not spoken about this to my children in homeschool yet. I really wanted them to be of the age where they could understand, and I really wanted them to have discernment and wisdom concerning these theories that the world tries to throw at us. So I was like, I was like Nehemiah. I was saying that silent prayer to myself as my children were like staring at me with their eyes like, what is that, Mama? And I was like, oh Lord, give me the right words to say where they can understand that this is truly a lie. This is not something that they need to believe. So I was kind of skimming the surface of both of these theories. My daughter, I was kind of watching her out of the corner of my eye, and she was just getting this more and more like confused and astonished look on her face. And when I was done, she told me, this was the funniest thing ever, and she looked at me and she was like, Mama, that's just slap crazy. And I was like, yes, thank you, Lord. And I was like, yes, it is, baby. It's indeed crazy. Just to see how they responded to them, because my husband and I prayed daily for our kids. We prayed daily that the Lord would grant them wisdom and discernment to be able to know what things are true and what things are false. And I think that as our children grow up in this generation that they are, with artificial intelligence and all of these things, it's going to be ever more important to pray for those things over them, because it's going to be very hard to discern what is real and what is false in this world going forward. And so for her to be able to say that and to, make that judgment and make that call all on her own based off what she already knows with the Bible, it really made me happy. And it was one of the fruits of our homeschool that I was able to see for myself, all of those years that we mamas spend like in the grind day after day, and you have those just moments where it looks like there's just like an aura around them, like, this is a moment that I've spent all this time instilling all of this education and character and training into our children, and here's one of those moments where it's kind of coming into fruition? One of those moments where you can see it just all kind of coming back, and you realize and you know that the things that you've been doing are worth it and that they're working. Homeschool works. The thing that we are doing now in our Bible time is Apologia, is Who is God series, and Can I Really Know Him? Now we started this I would say about 2 weeks ago. And so far, it's going okay. I still feel like this would be a really good study for my 8-year-old, but I feel like my 5-year-old is a bit bored with it. So at this point, what I'm doing is I'm just going very, very slow. We're covering about a page or 2 a day in this. I'm really wondering if I need to stop it and maybe do something else, come back to this a bit later, especially for my 5-year-old. If you have any recommendations, let me know if you've done the Apologia study with kids as old as 5 years old, because I know how much he adored this, like he loved this. So I'm thinking that this might be a little much for him, but we're just taking it really slow. I'm going to continue doing it and see how they kind of adjust, and to see if they gravitate a little bit towards it in the future. And if they don't, I might stop and come back to it later and do something else. I have quite a few other resources that I could pull from that might be better suited to their ages. So we'll see. But I love it. I think that it's a very, very well done. My now 3-year-old is acting up and her daddy's getting her, and I'm silently listening. Oh, wow. It's always a zoo around here. Anyway, so getting back to Apologia, we'll see what happens. I don't know if my kids are gonna get any more engaged in this or not, and if they don't, we're gonna move on to something else. So I'll keep you updated about this. But this is not to say that I do not love this myself. I love it. I just think that maybe my kids need to be a little bit older for this, or my 5-year-old. The next thing we're going to talk about is health. And the thing that we are doing is Abeka's Health, Safety, and Manners 2. Now, we did Health, Safety, and Manners 1 last year. We are about halfway done with this. We always love Abeka's health and what they put into this book. It talks about health. It talks about safety, into like fire safety, water safety. So for us, that was a perfect time to talk about what to do in a fire and what our fire plan was if something happened in our house, and we actually acted it out. And the kids loved doing that. They loved acting it out. Now they know what to do and where to go if a fire happens, and the steps that they need to take to make themselves safe. And so that was a great opportunity to be able to talk to them about that. It has safety, it has character items, thankfulness, honesty. It has these little short stories about kindness, storm safety, boat safety. It's a really good overview of all of the things that you probably need to talk to your kids about at some point at this age. And so for us, it's a great segue into those conversations, and we've had some really good ones. Same with Bible time. These questions that we do every day, it's a great segue into all of these conversations that we get to have every day. And I don't rush these conversations. Like, if we want to sit there and talk about it for however long it takes, that is the most important time in our homeschool, is that. Language arts, math, history, science, all of that can wait until later. The Bible, God's Word, the questions that my children have about that, about how to do life, how to live life, how to be good people, how to live for the Lord. That is the primary reason of why we school at home, right? So those are the conversations that I want to have daily, and the ones that are most important in our day. Okay, next topic that we're going to talk about is history. So, another thing that we do. Generations Homeschool, the story of Jesus people. Now, this is the level 1, and if you did not see the video that I did of the Generations history unboxing, I'll put it down in the description down below. But I bought all of this series because this is what I've been looking for. I've been looking for a history that connects everything back to Jesus, the spread of Christianity, and this does just that. Now, I thought about starting in level 3, the level that my daughter is in, but I also have my kindergartner. So, they're really loud. I don't know if you can hear them, but they're really loud in there. But I also have my kindergartner to think about. So I said, you know what? We're just going to start from square one. We're going to start with book 1. And we love it. So this is Generations, the story of Jesus people. I would highly recommend this. Flipping through the other books, I'm really excited to continue this series and to see how this unfolds. Now, in addition to that, I wasn't sure if I had more of an eclectic way of doing family subjects or not, because I know a lot of people, they'll just pick a history, they'll pick a science, they'll stick with it the whole year. And I have found through the years, I used to do that. Okay, hold on. They're too loud. Okay, I had to simmer them down just a little bit. I don't want y'all to hear screaming and yelling in the background, even though that's what I hear 24/7. And if you have small children, you know what I'm talking about. I wasn't sure if I had more of like an eclectic way of teaching family subjects, because as I first started off as a homeschooling mom, I was like everybody else. I picked my subject for science and history, and that's what we stuck with for the whole year. But then as I've grown and expanded and I'm more comfortable now in what I'm doing, I find that I'm loving several different things. I just do them all. So, also for history, what we're using is the Early American History Beautiful Feet books. Yeah. We do history. We kind of tag team on and off with these two, and I'm fine with that. I was watching a video of Christina over at Rooted Home Life Homeschool, and I was pleasantly surprised because she said the same thing in her school this year, which I've watched Christina for many years. I love her videos. If you don't know who I'm talking about, go over, check her channel out. She's wonderful. She has a different way of homeschooling also, in the fact that she pulls from all of these different resources that she has in order to teach her school. She also has several different sciences that she works through, and she just shared that in a video. And so I was like, oh, it's a woman after my own heart, a homeschool mom after my own heart, because that's what I've been doing. And it's not, it was completely on my own. Like I've not seen anybody else do this, but so I liked several of these things, and I want to read all of them to my children. So you know what, we'll do one day, we'll do one the next day, and it works, right? Just put it on a loop schedule and it works. So yes, Beautiful Feet books. Now this is a literature approach, a literature-based approach to teaching history. If you haven't watched my unboxing or my flip through of the Beautiful Feet books, if you want to watch them, I'll link them down in the description box, just like I have everything else. But yes, very good literature, very good books, very good learning, and we love Beautiful Feet books, Early American History. So that's what we're doing for history. Now, for our last subject of the day, we are going to talk about science. And I shared this with you guys, that this is what I had found. It is Generations Homeschool as well. This is God Made Plants. This is a level 2 science, and we are doing this, and it's wonderful. Just like the Generations History, it has fantastic illustrations. It's a biblical based approach to science. It points everything back to God, and that's what we're looking for. I'm not necessarily concerned about that as much in language arts and math as I am with our history and our science. Obviously our Bible time. I want these things specifically to point back to creation and to the Lord, and it does just that. And so I have been pleasantly surprised with this. I see us staying with Generation Science for several years to come. I'm good. I'm good right here. Now that is not to say that I will not add anything else to this, because I already have. And the second science that we are working through, you do not have to do this in your homeschool. This is just what I enjoy doing. This is one of those instances where you make your homeschool your own, okay? You do not have to do what I am doing. If that's not your cup of tea, just move on. When The Good and the Beautiful came out with their Little Hearts and Hands sciences, I bought all of them. The only one that I don't have is the new one that they just released, which is, I think it's called Bones and Stones, and it looks so cute. I wanted to start with this one. We had it lying around, and I was like, you know what? We're just going to start this one too, because this one looks really cool, and we haven't done it. So I'm not going to leave something lying around that I've paid money for and I haven't used it yet. So we started this, and this is Little Hearts and Hands, the Big Book of Science Stories, and this is Fields and Flowers. Now, I chose Fields and Flowers because we're doing, I can get it up here, we're doing the Generations God Made Plants. So I thought that this would be a really good companion to have Fields and Flowers. And it's, you know, the same topic line, so it's really worked out well. And the thing about these, it is geared to a level K to a 3rd grade reading level, a science level, because These literally take 10 to 15 minutes. Like, it's super fast. It's super fast. And they have little activities that you can do every day. Sometimes we do them and sometimes we do not. I think that's also a beautiful thing about homeschool is that some mamas are geared more towards the science experiments and all of these different things, and then some of us are not. And so you don't have to be. Like, you don't have to do the optional activities. You don't have to do all the science experiments. Now, the thing with this also that you need to know is that every other day you will do a video lesson. The video lessons are anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes. They're not long at all. They're very informative, very engaging. We love the lady that does all the lessons. She's actually our favorite, so we love it when we see her face pop up on the screen. So every other day you will have a video lesson, and then the next day you will read a story out of the big book of science stories. And so we've enjoyed this. We started this, I would say, probably about 2 weeks ago also. I guess I kind of got an itch to start some new things about 2 weeks ago, and we've enjoyed it. We've enjoyed it so far. That is all for our family subjects that we do. We do handwriting usually at the beginning of the morning, and then we'll do language arts and math as our day goes along. I kind of alternate between my son and daughter doing those lessons because they need that independent time with me. For family, we all stick together, and I love that about our homeschool. Tell me in the comments down below what you use for your family subjects and what you enjoy doing with your kiddos during your family subject time, or your morning time, or your morning symposium, whatever you love to do. I love getting ideas from different homeschool mamas, seeing what you're doing, seeing what's worked for you, what hasn't worked for you. And the thing about that also is, if you see a homeschool mama on YouTube and she's telling you that something has not worked for her family, don't let that scare you for trying it for yourself, because I have seen so many times in my own life where I have taken other people's opinions, and then when I did it for myself, I found something completely different to be the outcome. We're all different. That's the way that God created us. That's the beauty is that we are all different. So different things are going to land differently on each of us. I would encourage you to try that for yourself first and form your own opinion, because it could work wonderfully for you. You know, a lot of videos of homeschool moms where something hasn't worked for their family, but we're doing the same thing, and it's done wonderful things in our homeschool. A quick little side note is that I have been reading the books by Karen Andriola on mother culture and Charlotte Mason, and oh my goodness, I feel like my eyes have been opened a bit to Charlotte Mason, because we've been doing things in our homeschool that are of the Charlotte Mason way of teaching, and I did not even realize it. It's been really nice to read a book, and when you come to certain passages in that book, to feel like you and the author are one and the same, that you're actually being seen, and that the thoughts in your brain are like right there on the page for you to read. And so I've really gravitated a lot towards Karen Andriola's books and mother culture, but it's really resonated with me about how we can get so caught up in doing lessons and making sure that we're on point for the time of the year that we should be, just kind of taking a step back to realize, you know, these are the best times in our life when our children are young and they just want to play, and we learn so much through play. So this past week we had a day in our homeschool where we did no language arts, we did no math. All we did was we started our day with our Bible time, like we always do. And then we moved right into history. We did science. Oh, we did art. We did art that day, which is something that, honestly, art I feels like falls to the wayside quite a bit in our homeschool. So we started art that day, and I will tell you that every day since then, my two children have gotten their sketchbooks out. They have went and they have just drawn. I feel like it's opened up a passion for them because this is something that they are just embracing with their little hands and hearts, and they're just doing it every day now, and I don't even have to tell them. So I've really seen the areas where I feel like we need to lean more into, as opposed to just getting lessons. And it's really been a great reminder of me as a mom to slow down and appreciate the small moments. If you have any ideas for a good art curriculum or something that I can do with my children that talks about the famous painters and the famous composers, I would love to hear your thoughts on that. I have looked into the Charlotte Mason art, I forget what it's called. It's the art and handicrafts and something else. I'm going to butcher it if I continue saying what it is. But I've looked into that. I don't know if that's something that I want to do or not. I'm planning on going to a homeschool convention here in the spring. And I saw where the Charlotte Mason Company, and I don't even know if that's the correct name for the company. This is not really a great information, is it? But they're going to be there at this convention. So I thought, you know, I'm a big proponent of I want to see something before I buy it. So I don't want to spend the money on that yet. I want to go to the convention. I want to put my hands on this curriculum and look at it before I buy it. The arts, you know, and I will have to say, I'm getting way off topic here, but you know, this is how I do, guys. And my kids are screaming again. I was not taught the arts, right? Me and my husband both were products of the public school system. We were not taught this stuff. So the theory and mother culture of twice blessed, that hit home with me because I truly am learning alongside my children. I know a few painters, I know a few artists, but that's about it. I'm not familiar with composers. I'm not familiar with this side of the world. So I'm going to be learning alongside my children, and that's okay because I'm excited about it. But I'm asking you moms who know about this stuff, tell me what I need to do because I am drawing a complete blank. This is uncharted waters for me. So tell me what you do in your homeschool when it comes to that side of things, because this kind of stuff, like, we've got it down. Like, we're good. But the other side of things that I'm really wanting to bring into our school day, I'm not sure how to do it, and that's where I need you guys to tell me what to do, lead me, and guide me through this path. So with that being said, that is all that I have for our family subjects for this year, and I hope and pray that you guys are having a happy homeschool day with your littles. I encourage you just to soak it in and slow down, have you a hot cup of tea, go outside for a 5-minute walk if you need a break, and just know that what you're doing is kingdom work. Remember, if God has led you to it, He will equip you through it, and to know that I am encouraging you and supporting you on this path because I'm right there with you in the good days and the bad. And thank you so much for being here with me and for supporting this channel, watching our videos, and I will see you in the next one. So I hope you have a great day, and bye guys.